So, a couple of days ago, I was talking with a friend of mine about our first gym experiences, like how gyms are different today than they were yesterday. And for me personally, I first joined a gym back in 1992, and it was called Ferrigno's Gym, and it was located in Queens and Union Turnpike. But I didn't stay there for too long because there was this other gym that I knew about that was this steroid freak gym. It's where all the big guys went. And the name of that gym was called Top This Gym. And it was located in Flushing, Queens. It's kind of a little far from where I lived. I take the Q27 bus. Back then it was the Q27 bus. And you had to go through this junkyard and past these antique warehouses. Then all the way at the end was this old kind of 1940s style building, and that's where this gym was. Top This Gym. So I looked in the like up at the front desk, and I saw these really big guys in front of there, and I said, nope, 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 I can't go in. So I walked around the block. I walked around the block 3 times before I actually went into the gym. And when I went in, they were very nice to me, and I was inquiring about, a membership. I don't remember how long I wanted, but it was like reasonably priced, and I brought money with me, and I paid right there on the spot. And they were like, "Oh, you're going to work out now?" And I said, No, I'll come back. And I left, and I was like so happy. Wow, I just joined this huge freak bodybuilder gym, and I want to look just like those guys. Well, that's not how these things worked out. That's not how it worked out for me. Because the very first day that I went there to work out, these guys were complete pricks. They were not nice at all. Very first thing, back then you had to sign a book. When you went through this little turnstile, you had to sign a book. You had to put your name, the date, and your gym membership. Well, this guy that worked behind the counter would never come over to me to give me the book. He'd walk back and forth, telling me 1 minute, 1 minute. I'll be with you in 1 minute. So he leaves the counter, and I'm standing there, and I go looking in the on the gym floor, and he goes, hey, you can't come in. You got to sign in first. And I'm like, well, come over here and bring me the book. So that happened. That's this one thing. Another instance, one that really plagues me till today, is I see that the lat pull down machine is free. And I go over to it, and I'm starting to work out. And these 2 Guidos come over to me, these 2 huge jacked Guidos. And they basically said to me, listen, we're here to build muscle, and you're obviously not. So why don't you just give up the machine to us? And I said, and I can't believe I said this, I said, yeah, well, I just have one more set left. I said, I just have to do one more. And that's not true because I just got to it. I just started using it. But they were really intimidating. So I start doing my one set. And one of the guys is standing behind me. The other guy's walking back and forth in front of me, swinging his arms in front of him. He goes, I'm going to fucking kill him. I swear to God, I'm going to fucking kill him. And I get off the machine and go, okay, guys, there you go. It's all yours. And it was just fucking humiliating. And that's not the only instance of where I felt not wanted in this gym. Now, I have to point something out. I am, I think, 23 years old. I'm 5'4", and I weigh 148 pounds. I am not the type of guy these bodybuilders want in this gym. There is this whole gym culture there that I was not aware of. I thought that I could make friends with these people. They could help me out, but that's not what it was. It was very territorial. They were very protective, and they let me know every day that they didn't want me in there. Another instance was this older Polish man. I think he was about 50, 55. To me back then that was old. And he never really talked to anyone, but you could see he was jacked. And he would always cover up. He never wore a tank top, nothing like that. So I'm in the locker room, and he comes up to me, and he says, "Oh, please, please, can you help me? I cannot. I have to be at work soon, and I can't get my sweatshirt off. Look, I am trying." And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, no problem. I'll help you." And I go over to him, and it was kind of hard. It was all sweaty, and I'm pulling and pulling it off, and he's got a pump going, and finally it comes off. And he stands in front of me and he starts flexing and he goes, "Do you see this? You don't have this. You will never have this." And he's doing a like front double by. And he goes, "No, no, no. I want you to see. I want you to see this. Do you see this? Your arms will never look like this." And I'm thinking to myself, dude, I just helped you. You just asked me, "Oh, I have to be at work. Can you please?" And now and not only that, but he was preventing me from leaving because I was situated in by a row of lockers and then a bench, and he's putting his hand up in front of me, stopping me from leaving while he's hitting all of these hardcore poses, telling me I'm never gonna look like him, and you don't have what it takes, blah blah blah. Very strange, very strange. But that stays in my mind as one of these situations. So since I was feeling so intimidated at this gym, I decided to ask my two friends, Pete and Sean, to join this gym with me. They were already working out at a Bally's gym in Douglaston. In Douglaston, it wasn't in Douglaston Plaza, but it was in Douglaston, and they really didn't want to. They were kind of set where they were. So one evening, we're at a diner, and I have to go in and pay my gym membership. So I asked them to come with me. I said, it's right around the corner. So, okay. So anyway, we go to the gym, we get in there, and the place is jumping. They have this cool music on. The place is crowded. They walked in and they were just hooked. They were just, yeah, this is a cool fucking gym. And so one of the owners or the manager, his name was Carlos, and he had this like cool mohawk, and he shows Pete and Sean around. And they came back and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to do this. This place is awesome." So the three of us started working out together. Yes, the three of us started working out together. And it was a bit cumbersome, having three. But, we did it for about 3.5 years. So you got to move forward. It's now like 1997 or 1998. And I noticed Pete and Sean are getting really big. And I don't mean just kind of gaining weight big, but they look like they've got a lot of mass. And I asked them straight out. I said, "Hey, are you guys on steroids?" And like, "No way, man, no. My father would kill me. I would never use steroids." And I said, "Oh, okay." And at that time I'm using creatine, I'm using Vanadyl sulfate, I'm using Yohimbe bark, and there was one other thing. And I can never remember what the name of it, but I know I was using one other weirdly thing that I found like at GNC or something. So we're bench pressing one afternoon, and I say to Pete, "Look, maybe I shouldn't work out with you guys, And I'm kind of joking about it, half joking. I said, we got to keep taking the plates off because I could only lift 225s plus 45-pound Olympic bar. And I think that's a total of 90 pounds, right? 45, 50. And Pete and Sean are doing 345s on each side, plus maybe a 50. And we got to strip that all off. So I said half jokingly, maybe I shouldn't work out with you guys. And they were like, "Yeah, maybe you should work out on your own for a while." But I was like, "Really?" And I just sank. I remember I just felt like, meow. And, it was obviously they talked about it with each other. And so I said, "Okay." And I remember I got up off the bench and it was like a walk of shame. I walked over to this other bench because all the benches were together. They were in the same area. And although it's not the first time I looked at them, it was like the first time that I actually noticed how big they are. Because, they were... let's say Sean was short and stocky, and I believe he was about 5'6", 5'7". Pete maybe 5'10", and he was 170 when we began. I remembered he was 170 because we had weighed ourselves in the locker room on the scale. So We start working out together. We stopped hanging out together. I would see them once in a while in the gym, and I swear every time I saw them, they would just get bigger and bigger. So it started hurting my ego. Like I started feeling really bad for myself because I'm still 148 pounds. And I've been working out at that gym since it's been at least 5 or 6 years. And here are Pete and Sean, and they're fucking muscle monsters. And it's just hurting my ego. So I actually remember one time I was doing my rear delts on the pec deck machine, and I'm sitting there in between sets, and who comes walking out of the locker room was Pete and Sean. And now they're all decked out in all the bodybuilding gear. They're wearing string tank tops, and they're wearing tights. I forget the name of those tights. I think they were Hot Skins, but also Reebok. I remember a lot of guys wore Reeboks back in those days. And I just felt so bad. I said, Jesus Christ. I just felt so bad for myself. I'm never going to look like that. These guys, so I decided that I'm going to work out later in the day. Like we worked out maybe 5 or 6, so I went in at 10 p.m. I started working at 10 p.m. and it worked. I never saw them until one evening I walked in at 10 o'clock, my usual time, and who's in front of the gym with the owner of the gym is Pete and Sean, and they're getting ready for a bodybuilding contest. And they're getting flexing lessons from this guy. What was his name? The guy with the mohawk. And I just walked out. And they start calling me, Sal. And I just kept walking. I couldn't deal with it. And it was around that time that I moved to Manhattan. So that was the last time I went to that gym. That was the last time I saw them. I did find out years later that they were actually on steroids. I think it was 2005, and I was working in this warehouse in Manhattan, and my mother called me and she said, "Hey, Pete's mom called. She's looking for him. Could you please call her?" And I was like, "I haven't seen Pete since 1999, 1998. She said, "Well, just call her and let her know that you don't know where he is." So I remembered Pete's number. We used to call each other all the time. His number was 212-225-0368. So I call him up. I call his mother, and then he answers, and I say, he's, "Oh man, I was in California with my girlfriend. I didn't talk to my mother every day," and she panicked. So we started talking about a whole bunch of things, and I just came out and I said, "Listen, you guys were on steroids, weren't you?" And he's like, "Oh shit, we were on a whole bunch of steroids, man. We were using growth hormone, we were using primobolan, testosterone. We even, we heard of insulin, and we started using a little bit of insulin." And he just rattled off all this stuff. And I said, "Well, why didn't you guys tell me? I'm your best friend. Why didn't you bring me in on it?" And he said, "Well, the guy Carlos who owned the gym, he didn't like you." And, that I knew. And he was the one that was selling to everybody. And he said, "Listen, I don't want you guys telling this guy Sal. I don't want you selling any steroids to him, because I have a feeling that if he ever gets caught, he's going to sing like a bird. He's going to tell the police where he got the stuff, who sold it to him, and it's all going to be over." And, a lot of these guys at the gym, they had a good thing going, and they didn't want to fuck it up, including Pete and Sean. So that was that. I was out. But I did, later on, meet up with someone who helped me out instrumentally. Ironically, he was a cop. But I'm going to save that story for another time. This is Sal's bodybuilding adventures, bodybuilding memories. Peace.